Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Just mind me here as I get set up. And today, on November 26th, 2024, doing a little late night live. So, number one, I just want to ask you all to remind me not to do too many Harry and Meghan videos in a row. If I start doing that, say something. Because I'm just realizing I've been going back and forth with Team YouTube on Twitter, trying to get my old Daily Empress 5 channel back, which of course I knew was going to be useless, but I tried anyways. And they gave me the old medical misinformation, but they didn't specify what video or what I said. Is very vague. So I'm Team YouTube never knows what's really going on. It seems I always get some kind of dismissal, like, "Oh, you copyrighted," or "you," which I never do, or they'll come up with whatever. I sometimes, I just think they make it up sometimes. So I said the last video I made before they took me down was about Meghan Markle's interview in 2016. So I find it highly unlikely that there was any type of medical misinformation in that. I don't believe I mentioned anything medical or anything to do with COVID or, the snake bites or anything in that video. It's all about Meghan's interview. So I knew that was a lie. I was like, what are you talking about? What video? And of course, they didn't give me a video. So, but then today I was watching a video and someone mentioned that YouTube said that if you do too many videos on one topic, like Harry and Meghan, that they and their Sussex squad, naturally, of course, their Sussex squad would be behind it most of the time. But of course, Harry and Meghan are all over YouTube too, I'm sure. But they will accuse you of targeted harassment and have you taken down. So I'm thinking that might be what it was. And that's why YouTube is being so vague with me. They don't want to tell me that that's what it was. Like Harry and Meghan took you down, basically. So to not be accused of targeted harassment, I was doing pretty well with it. I was making sure to do other topics, but this time I'm going to make more of a concerted effort so that every other video is going to be, because I know I like doing Harry and Meghan because of course I've been following them so long, and I know you all want to see readings on that topic. It doesn't seem to bother other people's channels. Well, we'll see, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do it every other video. So if I do a Harry and Meghan video, the next one will be another topic and so forth, so on. So just to try to keep the channel up. Why my little channel always gets so targeted, I don't know. So anyways, that aside, so if I do too many Harry Meghan videos in a row, just throw me a comment and remind me so I don't forget to see if I can keep my channel up. But today, what I want to talk about, I have to get the window up here, is about this video on YouTube. Very good interview that the Royal Grift posted about on Twitter. And it's called Trained as a Spy. And it's on this channel, PBD podcast. Say PBD, like peanut butter dinosaur. And I don't know what that stands for, but anyways, very fascinating interview. It's a bit long, but I highly recommend you watch it. And she was a sex slave for the globalist network. And what she started talking about was like things I've been talking about on this channel with Harry and Meghan and their globalist buddies. It was all about cult mind control and how it's global and it's all very powerful billionaires and they're all satanic. I mean, wow. And it was like all of Hollywood. And of course, she didn't mention royals, but the royals are part of that circle as well. So I just found it very interesting because I've been talking about all these topics, all along, and I just found it fascinating and insightful. Yeah. So now the idea of mind control is one that you don't hear enough of or learn enough of because a lot of it is suppressed. The globalists who want to, basically what she points out is that the globalists want to control everybody, everyone on the planet, one way or another. And that's why it's so difficult to get a lot of information or news, really about the truth about how easy it is to um, brainwash people and use trauma-based mind control. And she goes into how she was trauma-based mind controlled as a child to be a spy sex slave. And the same type of mind control is what's used in cults. And for example, Steve Hassan talks about it, combating cult mind control, in his book. He's excellent. He used to be in a cult, the Mooney cult. He got out of it, and he helps people to get their loved ones out. It's very difficult to get the loved ones out. As you know, I followed the Nexium case for a long time, which is also a lot of mind control involved in that, as well. And with India Oxenberg and her mother, Catherine Oxenberg, she wrote a book about it. But still, except for these rare cases, there are so many cults out there. There's a lot of mind control going on, but still, there was a website that was dedicated to helping people escape the Scientology cult. But then that website got shut down, and Scientology ended up buying it and getting all the personal information of people who had escaped. It's really been it's a war going on between those who want to control people's minds and keep control of them. So it's not just the globalists. I mean, of course, the globalists, but also large cults like the Scientologists. And I highly recommend, if you want to learn about Scientology, a few channels. Doug Kramer was very insightful. He was a former member. He had been in Scientology for decades until he broke out of it after reading that book by Steve Hassan. In fact, that started him on his way to getting out. He died, in my opinion, under suspicious circumstances last year, almost a year to now, December 11th, 2023. So right around this time of the year, he was interviewing with H.G. Tudor, and him and H.G. Tudor had a really good rapport, very interesting videos and interviews, and I was looking forward to more until he was supposed to do a video with H.G. Tudor when he passed suddenly, unexpectedly. And yeah, so it's very suspicious, his death. And Scientology is known in other cults to take people out if they talk, it's just like the globalists would do, or any mafia. Another story that came up, that I just happened to cross, The Underground Bunker is a good Substack by Tony Ortega, who's an expert on the Scientology cult. He's been covering it for decades. And just recently, this just came out today, in Ireland, reporters have caught Scientologists in Ireland exploiting the asylum seekers. So apparently Tom Cruise, who we all know hangs out with Prince William, as well as Prince Harry, getting awards and hanging out with John Travolta, another Scientologist. And I also heard from somewhere, I think it was Crazy Days and Nights, that Meghan took classes with Scientology. Whatever, they track everyone. Even if you just take a few classes, they keep in touch with you. They follow you. It's really, from what I hear. Well, anyways, the Scientologists in Ireland, with all the asylum seekers, nobody in Ireland is interested. Very few people. They said maybe they have like 126 or maybe about 200 members out of 5 million people in Ireland. Like no one in Ireland was interested or is interested in Scientology. But Tom Cruise and the leader of the Scientology cult have a fascination with Ireland and have created multi-million-dollar centers there. And they're trying to recruit people. They're always trying to recruit. So, of course, they see that the asylum seekers coming in, the immigrants, and they're trying to get them they're starting to train them in the mind control. And so, as Doug Kramer points out, with Scientology, what it is it is brainwashing, but it's very slow and it's very sneaky, because they hide it under the veneer of self-improvement, learning to speak better, learning to communicate better, and be a better, think better, and all this. It looks like nobody ever joins a cult. People join a self-help group of some sort, or a class to improve themselves, and it turns out to be cult related. And Scientology, for example, has a drug treatment center that's to help people get off of drugs, and they use Scientology brainwashing methods to get people off of drugs, and they get the people in the cults. So it's like they're getting people under, deceptive guises, allegedly. So what they're doing in Ireland is somehow they're starting the training here on these asylum seekers, and these Italian reporters caught them in the act. And so you can read about it on the Tony Ortega Substack. I just found it very, suspicious, and not these cults are very active, and they're very well funded. I mean, they're making multi-million-dollar centers in all over the world, including in Ireland, and they are very powerful, but they're very undercover and secretive, and the mainstream media never covers this kind of stuff. Right? You're not going to hear that Tom Cruise and a group here is basically trying to get these vulnerable individuals who just moved to this new country, new culture, and guiding them and starting to train them into Scientology. So imagine like all these refugees coming in, and they're all joining Scientology. I mean, it's scary. It's scary because, as Doug Kramer said, once you're brainwashed into the cult, you'll die for them. Like he said, when he was a believer, he would have died for the cult, for Scientology. So and his parents, he couldn't get his parents out. His parents stayed in there till his father passed and whatnot. So I mean, it's very powerful, and I think this is all related to the globalists because, again, John Travolta, Prince Harry, Tom Cruise, Prince William, they're very intertwined with the globalists. It's globalists, Scientology, brainwashing, mind control, and that goes back to the mind control and Satanism. Doug Kramer has said Scientology is L. Ron Hubbard, the founder, was into satanic worshiping, and of course, all these people are Satanists. And again, she was in it directly. She was a part of the family. I think they called it the part of the group, and they were all Satanists. So there you have it. It's like confirmed again and again. And basically, the trauma-based mind control is basically what they did during COVID. Yeah, that was the steps that they took were the same, not exactly the same what they do individually or what they did to her. They do much more severe to children because they split their personality through severe trauma. But by frightening people and isolating them and dividing and conquering, and the constant repetition of the same phrases, safe and effective, that was purposeful. It's part of the brainwashing. And people think, oh, you can't get brainwashed. Yeah, you can, when things are repeated again and again and again, and while you're under fear or that type of strong emotion and isolated, yeah, it can be very powerful. So I have to be aware. If you're aware of how this works, just being aware of it can help protect you from being influenced, this undue influence. So another way of putting it is undue influence, but it's very powerful, and it reaches right into your subconscious, and it sticks to you, it sticks in there. So anyways, back to this globalist, groups that not only brainwash people, create these brainwashed sex slaves that want to control everybody one way or another. And Harry and Meghan, of course, are part of this group. But I want to look in general at this globalist network of, satanic pedophiles, basically. I mean, they're not all pedophiles, she said, but of course, the ones she dealt with were. She was a small child when she went through everything she did. But I want to look at how things are going and what this globalist global network is up to as far as trying to influence and control the world. I think they're very much behind what's going on in the Ukraine and trying to start war with World War III, in my opinion. So let's take a look here. They constantly keeping us in fear is the main thing. So, COVID was one thing, but they also do it with other things. They do it with, the media about everything that comes up to scare you. You notice everything that's always trying to frighten you with climate change and, even the refugees, they try to blow that up sometimes. And now World War III. It's always trying to keep everybody in a state of fear because if you're in fear, you're easier to control. And they got a lot of success out of COVID. I got to tell you, they really got people scared with that one. But that's worn off now. So they're trying to find new ways to scare people, right? So let's see, how's it going? How's it been with the energies from the past that they're dealing with? Lawyers and paperwork. So they're dealing with a lot of lawyers and paperwork right now. Tie up loose ends with Pfizer, I guess. I know maybe with the new presidency coming in, perhaps they're getting ready for a few lawsuits, maybe facing a Nuremberg. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, let me see here. Okay, 1 second. I just want to. Okay. So they're focused on legal matters, sunsets, lost loved ones, memories, elder nightfalls, sunsets. A lot of deaths have been going on, continue to go on, unusually high numbers. I just read somewhere that all over actually in mainstream media that Washington State's certain county has had a record number of heart attacks. They just happen to be the most highly injected. Penny pinching, financial struggles, so finances, kinky ways. Fantasies, fetishes. She mentioned this. She said that these men that she was forced to sleep with as a child sex slave, that they were all had perverted. None of them. It wasn't normal. They were all very, because they're all satanic. They're all just weird fetishes, long haul, in it to win it. All right. So this makes me think of the fact that a lot of them are doubling down. Like I just watched today a video with that CNN woman who is very prominently pushing the lies, and now she's doubling down and not. They're criticizing Trump's picks, and they're still claiming safe and effective. They're not backing down the mainstream media, CNN, Rachel something or other, whatever, that woman with the short black hair. You see that clip over and over again where if you take the snake bite, it stops here. It doesn't go any further. That one. I never watched it, so I don't remember her name, but key player, important person playing an essential role. So there's a key player that they've been focused on. It's probably Trump. Numbing, self-medicating addictions, and irrational behavior. So you see this person sitting on the street here with a panda face. Panda does have to do with is a symbol of child trafficking and sex abuse there. But I'm getting from that the drug addiction here, self-medicating and addictions. They do want to one of the ways they want to control everyone is getting them addicted to drugs. And that's why they had the globalists were actually behind the pushing the addictive Oxycontin and getting a lot of people addicted to that. And also with psychiatric medications, I've heard, are intentionally addictive, and like ADHD drugs that are causing psychosis, that kind of thing. You hear all kinds of things, but it's like a lot of damage is being done not only through illegal drugs like fentanyl, or so that's more prevalent now than ever, partly because of the open borders, but also, basically what I'm getting at is the globals are pushing drugs of all kinds, whether it's pharmaceuticals or illegal drugs. They want to get everybody addicted to something so that it's easier to control. They're easier to control and they won't fight back, right? If you're high, they're pushing marijuana, legalizing marijuana and heroin everywhere. George Soros, it's all about giving needles to addicts because they want to encourage that, right? They want to encourage drug use. So right now, in the recent past, leading till now, they're continuing pushing the drug use, pushing the drugs. They're focused on their legal matters, trying to cover their butts for the past 4 years. They're in it for the long haul. They're not going to back down. They're going to fight and try to claim that they're innocent and then try to deny their culpability. Yeah. and they want to get everybody addicted to something. They want everybody on something. They want everybody on some kind of drug, one way or another. There's not something wrong with you. They'll find something wrong. Don't worry, they'll find something. That's the way that because that's why they control people and make money from it, right? That's all they care about. They don't care about your health. That's my opinion. So what else? What's this? Six of Pentacles reverse. This is shady business dealings behind the scenes. Oh, death, excess death here, reverse. Take that as I constantly think, Pfizer, all that, and Moderna. Three of Cups, conspiracy card here, enjoying their winnings, and governmental influence, wanting that world government here. This is the globalists getting together, making their new world order. Still working on that. Part of the new world order is excess deaths. They want less people, and their shady, shifty monetary transactions. The World Bank, they're all, the world controlling, with the Federal Reserve controlling the money is how they perpetuate their crimes and how they're bringing in the new world order. Again, I posted on my Odyssey channel a video about that explains how the globalists created the Federal Reserve, and how that has helped them to bring in all the wars and now to oppress people, cause the inflation to lead to hardships and bring in tyranny, right? So what are they doing right now? What are these global network of people doing now? Nine of Pentacles reversed, so they're trying to make people as poor as possible, taking away your health, your money here, of the country in general. Six of Rods reversed. See, they're you notice, like, you see clips of Bill Gates, or you see clips of World Economic Forum, but then they disappear. So this I see as like their day-to-day activities, just like Harry and Meghan. You don't see them coming and going. No one spots them. No one paps them. No, they're very. So I see this as like laying low, hiding out, but popping up every now and then with a video, or a news article, a PR puff piece. This is why Harry and Meghan are so interesting to watch, because all the globalists operate in the same way. And this woman who was sex trafficked said this as well. She said that all they're concerned about is their PR and how they're portrayed in the media. So they're all like this. It's not just Megalodon. Megalodon's, an exaggerated example of it over the past few years, but they're all like this. They all are very concerned with what's said about them on social media and in the mainstream media. And this is why the censorship is so big, because they don't like people talking about them and exposing them, right? Especially Bill Gates. Oh, he hates it. He wants to use AI, and he says he wants to use AI to erase all vaccine misinformation off the internet. He said this, right? He wants to use it to delete it all. But really, I think it's about anyone who says anything about him, he wants to delete that, if you ask me. Queen of Wands, yes, that's like Meghan. Just like her, she's one of them, and they all operate the same way. Even Meghan, they disappear. Where is Meghan? Where does she really live? Where are the children? You don't see anything. They their day-to-day lives, nothing. They're very, very private. And even on the internet, they just scrub everything and anything, so you can never find out the truth about them. Like, I wouldn't even bother trying to research on the internet, because you're not going to find anything, right? Anything they don't like will be scrubbed automatically. But if it's anyone else, a regular person, and there's some embarrassing video that you want removed, or even if a young person, a child, is raped and somebody puts it up somewhere, I've even heard this on Twitter or Facebook, they won't take it down. Facebook won't take it down. But if it were a globalist Satanist, it would be taken down right away, right? So, Seven of Swords is the deceptions, trickery, thievery. Again, secretively, I see this reverse, can be secretively or being revealed. So yeah, so they want that censorship to keep their criminal activities and their whereabouts and what they're really up to top secret. Like if you see a Bilderberg group or anything like that, G7, that's all the same. They're all the Satanist globalists and top secret. You can't get anywhere near it. I mean, have you ever seen the Bilderberg groups when the guys go there? There's a couple of reporters, independent reporters, went there with their cameras and they were trying to interview people at the Bilderberg, like going in, driving in. They weren't allowed even a few blocks, like the entire area for all the blocks around. The police were blocking it off. Like you couldn't get anywhere near the hotel where the Bilderberg group was because they took over the whole hotel and it was just them and no one was allowed even within a block of it. The police blocked it off. It was like Bilderberg group meeting was like Fort Knox, the way highly, very private. They don't like anyone seeing them coming and going. And the only reason we knew of some of the people who went was because these two reporters who caught wind of it somehow, of where the meeting was going to be, they figured it out. And they waited at the train station and at the airport and they watched people coming off the plane and they recognized certain prominent individuals and confronted them. Said, "Hey, are you going to the Bilderberg meeting? What are you going to talk about?" And they were shocked because they never want to be seen coming and going, and they never want to talk to the press, right? They don't want to let us know what they're doing, even though at these Bilderberg meetings, they're making plans for us that affect us directly. And they're doing that right now. They're doing that right now. And again, Megalodon and with Prince Harry are a distraction operation. She's an agent of chaos, agent provocateur. So she's very much a part of this group and not she works for them basically, but she's a part of it. So what can we expect next? What's coming up in the near future? What are they planning on? What can we see besides World War III they seem to be starting? What are the global Satanists up to next? Lipstick evidence. Cheating and betrayals. I kind of think this kind of reminds me at first glance of Justin Trudeau. He's one of them too, as well. No doubt, he was probably one of their playthings. Quick getaway. Yeah, they want to get away with everything they've done. They're figuring out how to get away with their crimes against humanity, and they're planning on doing that. Lucky break. They're getting a lucky break somehow here. Something's going to go their way. Supersize me. Doing too much, excessive, and overindulgence. Wow. So they are going over the top with things. I could be referring to the Ukraine or with the sex trafficking or you name it. What have they not gone over the top with? But with the censorship, perhaps as well. I mean, they control the governments. I mean, it's quite obvious during COVID, right? Puzzled, confused, perplexed, and conflicted. So they see some confusion about something here. Isolated, rejected, left alone, isolation. So maybe they're the ones being isolated now. Or they're planning to be. Or they're planning to isolate us again if they try doing another lockdown. They are trying, I think puzzled is they're trying to keep us puzzled as to what they're up to and what they're going to do. Confused, perplexed, and conflicted is what they do to us, right? They're always trying to scare us, keep us divided, and make us unsure of what to expect next, never know what they're going to pounce out with next. And being Satanists, they enjoy terrorizing people. Wishful thinking, second chance. Deja vu. Deja vu. Seeing the same thing happening again there of some sorts. Oh man, they better not even try that. I don't know what they're going to be trying to whip out another deadly scenario. I'll have to wait and see. I see deja vu there, repeating of something there, something similar. Clown. Performance, camouflage, laugh at, revenge. Clowning around here, playing the clowns. They're all a bunch of clowns, right? So I do see them trying to get away with their crimes, like I said. knowing that lipstick evidence, meaning it's obvious, like the guy with the lipstick on his face showing his betrayal, everything they've done, it's obvious what they've done and that they're who's guilty, like Fauci and whatnot, right? So they know they're caught. They're looking to get away with it. They've gotten a lucky break. I'd say Fauci's been pretty damn lucky, if you ask me. And they're getting excessive. They're trying to get away with and try to keep everybody puzzled, try to keep everybody confused, and they want to isolate people again. Well, isolate themselves from us. They're gonna clown around in there. If you see them on videos, like Bill Gates, I feel like Bill Gates is being a clown when he comes out with his videos talking about bringing out his fake meat here or there. There's some major, um, I don't know if it's a restaurant in the UK or if it's some major food. It's called it's called Telsa or something like that. TE something. And they're using Bill Gates's fake meat. He's still pushing his fake meat and trying to act like it's a good thing. And totally ignoring everyone who's saying that's disgusting. Take your meat and shove it. He still keeps pushing it. And they have a lot of wishful thinking here, deja vu. They want to do it again. They want to do another COVID again. I think they want to do another lockdown again, maybe a climate lockdown. They want to do that again. They love that. The evil Satanists love that. They love that. So what are they planning on doing next? What are they going to be doing next here? What did I get? They're planning and plotting for sure. They never stop. The evil ones never stop. Let me tell you. Temperance, health. They're going to focus on improving health. We are hearing a lot now in general, about how Trump's going to improve health, bring back free speech, and try to bring back some healing here. But that's good. They're going to they're acting like they're trying to help everyone's health. And what are they going to do? They're going to give you some drugs or something. Two of Wands, dominating the world. It's the globe. It's a globalist card. He's holding the globe in his hand. He's got plans for the world. Something new here. Pushing out something new in the media. I see this often as the Ace of Wands. And they're going to, just like this Maddow. That's her name, Rachel Maddow. Like I was saying earlier, they're going to double down, and they're going to claim that what they put out is safe and effective, and they're not going to back down. Because they're cornered, and they're not going to admit guilt. They're not going to admit, even though the Pfizer papers list 1,000 adverse events, they're still going to say, no, we did the right thing. We did the best we knew how. They're going to claim. All the evidence is against them. They're going to take, from their high horse. They're going to continue trying to retain their elevated position and push down and tell you what to think. And that Rachel Maddow, See, Rachel Maddow works for the globalists. So she is on CNN, everyone on CNN, everyone in the mainstream media. So what she's saying is what the globalist message is. So if she's doubling down, the globalists told her to double down and say, it's safe and effective, and anyone who speaks against it, they're just misinformation. Well, they're doing that. And of course, we see that with the censorship, especially the UK and Australia. They try to push, but they're still pushing down. This is the tyranny. They're still pushing down their tyranny. They still want to control everyone. They should be arrested and imprisoned, and instead they're still pushing back and saying, no, we're right. Six of Swords, going back to something, trying to redo something with pointy objects, perhaps. Moving backwards, though, or not being able to move forwards here. Being held back. Ace of Pentacles, they are going to lose money here. They are going to lose some ground for sure in a new way, which is good news for us. Anything bad happening to them is good for us. So I do think they're going to be forced to face what they've done in the past. And they're going to lose a lot of money. They're going to get their pantsuit off. I mean, everyone's getting sued. You know how many stories you keep hearing of people who won $1 million plus dollars because they were fired for their jobs for not taking snake bite. And now a couple of years later, the court it finally went through the courts, and now they won $2-3 million. Yeah, so it's gonna continue. A lot more lawsuits coming. Uh, that seems to be the only way to. But even that is like a small amount to what these globalists are worth, right? They're trillionaires, and so they pay a few $1 million. It's nothing for them, really. But you notice I'm getting a lot of coins here because for them, they're Satanists. It's all material. It's all about money. It's all about power. So I got wands and coins. A lot of wands, a lot of coins, and swords for their evil planning, plotting. So they're going to continue. They're going to be continuing abusing health and the health systems and beating people down and trying to control them and to retain power. And of course, the media, social media, controlling social media is so important to them because of that. They want to control all the media because they can't do that. They can't brainwash you. They can't control how you think about things. And they really want to do that. They do it with social media as well. I mean, to a certain extent, but they want more control over it, obviously. And that's the reason why. And they are controlling it, though. I mean, really, if you look at what's going on with the platforming, like me and YouTube and Twitter, I've heard is even though it's better under Elon Musk, it's not perfect. There are some people who are still deplatformed and suppressed, and because the people in charge of it, he put someone. Musk put someone who I think works with the World Economic Forum. I forget her name, Yakovitz or something like that. Well, I mean, they're censoring the hell out of people on Twitter still. So it's still a problem. Again, the globalists, they don't even like you talking about globalists. It's like you saying that word, they don't like it. They don't even want you thinking about them. You're not allowed to think about it. They don't want you to think about mind control and how that happens, how they do use that. How it works, and how Scientology is trying to mind control immigrants coming over the border. Yeah, don't worry about that. I just that's definitely on the minds here for sure. They all work together. It's all part of the same club, and you ain't in it. So yeah, so there you have it. It's a bumpy road ahead for the globalists, but they're gonna still keep pushing. They're gonna still keep trying to act like they're in charge and try to push you and try to take your money whenever they can and take your health as well if you let them. So there you have it. Of course, leading everybody to the same place. At least I don't see a world war breaking out here, at least. I think they have done enough damage anyways. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, please remind me if I do too many readings on one topic. I am Meghan too much. Remind me to do other topics. But again, I will be alternating my videos just to be on the safe side. So there you have it. So I hope you all have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.